Hey, good morning. It is about 10:35 in the morning, and I ate, fed my little dog, and it's actually raining outside. And days like that, I just like to relax a little bit at home. I get more introspective, and I was watching some videos this morning while I was eating my breakfast, and I got to thinking. I actually was watching a video. Um, the guest speaker on this channel. Her name is Serena Dyer. It's the first time I'm ever hearing of her. She's the daughter of Wayne Dyer, and he's involved in this spirituality stuff, and he's an author too. And the daughter, Serena, she's one of 8 children. She's number 6, I think. And she was talking about her life. You know, People might be thinking that because she's raised in such a spiritual home or spiritual minded home, as a father, that life might be perfect. And she shared with you know to others that growing up, she wasn't really living her dream. She was living what was expected of her. She was in the collegiate path. She got a master's, and now she was like working on her law degree. And while in law school, I think she might have mentioned like 6 weeks into her studies, she was getting sick, and she had even caught pneumonia. And so she took a week off of school, and but she kept on getting sick. And her father got in contact with her and said, "Hey, I think you keep getting sick. What's going on? Is this what you really want to do?" So the father was very intuitive and thinking that, hey, maybe this is too stressful for her. It's not her path. And in short, she does. First she tried to make it work. It wasn't working for her, and she started evaluating her life. And like in conclusion of the interview, she every evening just before she goes to bed, like the last 5 minutes, she'll make like affirmations. She says she started thinking about um, like how she would feel if you know if everything was okay. Imagine yourself being or feeling in the state that would be ideal for you. And I thought that was powerful, you know. And I reflect back on my life. I too was going through doing things what was expected of me. I'm one of 7 kids, and I'm the last of the 7. And my life was a mess. I was doing, let's see, I've had many different occupations. My very first job after high school, I worked for the city of New York. Um, I hated the job. It it just had an element to it. It was what you call a typical civil service job. People used to tell me about their drugs and things like that, and the sexual exploit. And I'm coming from a very conservative background. And I said, I don't want this for myself. And was heavily into television. That was my reality, unfortunately. I knew nothing of the real world. And I thought everything that I saw on television, everything I listened to on the radio was true. And and I want to somehow navigate in this false world. So I I thought that I was just trying to uh, live my life as what I saw on television. That meant be, climbing up the social ladder, the corporate ladder. And in the process of doing so, at every step of the way, I fell hard. And like this Serena Dyer said, don't feel embarrassed that it didn't work out for you. She felt a little bad when she realized she had to leave school, law school. It wasn't for her. And get down from there. That's Lily again, wanting attention. Get down. Get down. Okay. Sorry. So, yeah, I felt a little shame about it. Um, when I had to, after going to school and seeing that it didn't work for me. I thought if I followed the steps, you go grade A, B, C, D, and so on, that, you'll be someone, But like I mentioned, that my first job was civil service, and then my first um, um, privately owned company that I worked for was for a major bank in New York City. And it was very hard. You that I thought they were like even back then I wasn't into spirituality. I called myself an atheist. I did not know God at all, and I didn't last long in the business. And then I kept on trying to like repackage myself, but again I was repackaging myself in a field, in another occupation. I thought if you change occupations, that you'll become that new thing. And what I was feeling to do was to become myself. As Serena Dyer was saying, she needed to discover who she was, discover, be you. And so that's what I was lacking. And then finally, my last education, as I mentioned to you on YouTube, I 2 years ago I completed my master's in nutrition, and I thought everything was going to be rosy, but excuse me, life was telling me, life told me very harshly, no, this job isn't you. I mean, it's an honorable field, nutrition, but I thought that I would be complete because I completed an education system, you know, and everything fell through. The rules of practicing nutrition changed, and then the market itself, working for the hospitals, it changed too. It changed a year before I graduated. And so what was I left with? So here I have this piece of paper and I can't do anything with it. And I tried to force the issue and force myself to you know, stay in this field of nutrition. I thought, okay, let me get my own business. And it was, as I say, it was not economically viable. I was losing a lot of money every month trying to sustain a business, and it didn't work. And so I felt like, part of me felt ashamed. I said, should I just leave this, And this is what's real. Oh, so I started getting like anxiety and panic attacks. My body was reacting to the that an old paradigm system. That paradigm system is saying you're supposed to feel fulfilled, complete, because you completed this program, and it wasn't happening. And so the two worlds, reality and the false paradigm that I had about myself, it was crumbling quickly, and that's what led me to opening up this channel, Spirit Journey, and so I said to myself, I have to get myself together. I have to try to look within, and it's a scary process. But um, what I also want to discuss with this video is that, well, um, I was watching something on, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my notes there. Yeah, I was watching a controversial video sponsored by the Nation of Islam and a very controversial group. But I like to hear different people speak, and especially when it pertains to the Black community. And the speaker that they had, um, he he said something that I thought was very interesting. He was mentioning about birth pains and that life was happening in America um, as it pertains to Black people. It's like birth pains, and that he mentioned like different people over the years, Black people, and what has happened to them. You know, like the Brown who got shot by the cops. So all these different um, Black men who were brutally murdered by authorities. And in each of the incidences that he mentioned, like the major incidences, that each event seemed to get closer and closer together. You know, maybe one incident happened this year, and then maybe a year later, you know, something else. But now it's like, you know, every couple of months or 2 weeks apart, something like that. And each time it's getting more and more intense. And so I thought that was really interesting. That you know, maybe that's also what's happening with my life. All these different occupations that I have, that I had, and I was trying to prove to myself. And each time there was like more and more symptoms that was happening to me, you know, and you know, maybe life is trying to birth me. That's what I got. That's what I'm getting out of it, you know, that even ourselves, you know, there's a point where if something's going to happen, it's going to happen, and you can't force it. You can't say, well, I'm going to be this way, because maybe life's path is actually to draw you, push you somewhere else. And the process could be very painful. But the more relaxed you are, the, the, the smoother the process, you know, just like with labor. You know, you can't fight it. It's going to happen eventually. You can run, but you can't hide it. You can't stop it. And so that's what I got from his speech, you know. And this speaker also mentioned about Moses, and that he said that I mean, it's controversial what he's saying. That he said, was Moses a real person? You know, was what he wrote, was it true? And he was suggesting that what Moses wrote, that it wasn't something that actually had happened, but prophecy. Moses was a prophet. But he was suggesting, he was saying that what Moses talked about was something that was to be futuristic. That was the first time I'm ever hearing something like that, you know. But I thought, you know, I was thinking back, I think I heard other people, other uh, individuals over YouTube mention about how about the scriptures, and you can get down from there. That you can, it's all how you want to look at the scriptures. And some people are starting to internalize the scriptures not so much of something that happened in the past, but something that's actually being projected to the future. And so right now, that I mean, why look at? I guess they're saying, why look at an ancient book that's not relevant for you today? And so apply to yourself now. Okay, you're an oppressed person. Look at the things that happened to you in history. Are you someone that needs freedom? So I think that's where they're bringing this from, and that if this book is actually prophetic, then there's going to be a time of deliverance, and that's what they were saying. Okay, quiet, quiet, get down. She probably wants one of her little chewies, but it's not on the table where she thinks it is. Nothing there. Come on, get down from there. Oh, oh, that it is on it, isn't it? Okay. I'm sorry, YouTube. It was on it. See that? She slept. See, she's messed around. I'm sorry. So that's what I learned from that conversation. That how are the scriptures to be related to today? You know, you're you're a black person or African American or a Hebrew Israelite, whatever how you just define yourself. You know, what does life mean to you? How do you interpret what's going on? You have an ancient book called that people call the Bible. 66 books, and you want meaning. So it seems like now the movement is now personalizing the scriptures, the characters in the Bible, and applying it to yourself. This is a form of spirituality, and I wonder, you know, are we going to have deliverance? Everyone wants deliverance, and a place like New York or Missouri, people are crying out. But one thing I can say is, stay calm and use your head. Teach your kids to be level-headed, because I think we as Black people, we're very reactive. We want to shout and yell, and sometimes we bring attention to ourselves, and people are watching, and we may not realize how it's being perceived. But no matter what I'm noticing now here in the United States, it doesn't matter how calm you are at times, or even if you are reactive, because you're going to have people outside of your group with their own program against you, and they're going to invent things in their head, and they fear you, and that's what I'm seeing. And if this speaker of the Nation of Islam, I don't remember his name, but he also presented different things that happened in history. He had something about the police officers that this was in the 19 late 70s, and you had people that were saying the reason why blacks in America act the way they do is because of the rap music and the video games. But in 1979, the rap music, the rap scene wasn't there, you know, and it was catering to a younger group, and not the people that you see doing all the killing. That the music was just a symptom of a problem, according to the speaker. And so you can't blame the homicide and stuff like that on the music because it wasn't there. And I thought he had a good point about that. Why blame something if that element wasn't really in existence? You know, he mentioned like back then in the 70s, it was R&B music, and that's what we were primarily listening to back then. And that's not music that glamorized and murder and stuff like that. But you have people who's in pain, and getting back to the police officers, he mentioned that you had, I wish I could remember the name, but he was someone from the South, a white man from the South, and he had spoken to um, the law enforcement uh, agencies here in New York City, and he was saying to recruit 5,000, um, we call them white Christians, some organization, the White Christian something, and he used very colorful words against black people in this letter. And this letter is I think he called that top secret. It's in the FBI file, and this person wrote the letter from the South was saying, you can take some of our men here, white men from the South, and deputize them, give them badges. And he said that we put those, the N word in check in New York City. And it's something. You have all these documents, all these things that are coming up to the surface, and you're wondering why you don't feel safe around the cops. Well, letters like that will explain why. I guess uh, we blacks are very intuitive, and we know when something's not right. And so, what I was going to say, hey, teach your kids, don't do this and that around the cops. But then, like, these people might be deputized. They may not be really who you think they are, you know. And I thought that was very profound. So I guess in light of everything, we have to we still have a personal responsibility to ourselves that we have to instruct our children. We have to think smart and we have to think community, you know. So teach your children, you know, at when it starts to get dark, come home. Stay at home. Talk to your friends over the telephone, you know. Um, just we have to play it smart because sometimes I feel that they're looking, the authorities are looking to initiate a problem. And I have met women, mothers, who had grown children, and she was crying to me um, about how her son was walking with his girlfriend, and the cop just approached him and said, "I'm keeping my eye on you, I know you, and blah blah blah, I'm gonna get you." And I can't believe what I'm hearing. And mother's crying; she's so deeply upset. I I never had that experience of a cop following me and threatening me to do me in and waiting for me to make a mistake so they could arrest you. And I think that's sad. So in some communities, that's their reality, and I feel very badly. But I believe that God is real. However, we choose to be your God, you know, um, just go within. And as for the Spirit of God to protect you and your family, to put a hedge of protection upon you, and think collectively. Think as a group. If you go to church, you're a black person, you go to church, start getting really connected to the people in your church and to help each other. It's so easy for us in church um, to gossip against one another. That's not going to help you. You know, you have people from all over the world now who are competing for your jobs. You know, the civil rights movement was for women and so-called minorities. So you're one of many groups, and you're being pushed out of your jobs. You're being pushed out of your communities and be what you call socially engineered to live in other places that no one wants to live in. But you have to start from yourself. Start within yourself. Say, where do I want to go from here? So start communicating with you and your family. It starts with each individual, and then it starts within that family unit that you live in. Work together, because I see that other groups and other so-called racial minorities that might live right next door to you, you know, they don't have your best interest. Oftentimes, they might smile in your face. They might even say the N word to you, so-called affectionately. But behind closed doors, they're not there to promote you or your people. So I say, go within and just, just do the right thing. You know, work together and work like a knife. A knife can cut both ways. You learn how to sharpen your knife and use it constructively. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about, which also motivated me to speak today, was about entrepreneurship. As I mentioned earlier, that the business that I had developed in nutrition um, didn't grow, but I thought to myself, well, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be self-sufficient, and I want to serve my community. And so I did something that is really supposed to be representative of, to ignite that spark. I opened up an account with eBay, and I um, I put up some things for sale. I mean, I actually had, I've had my account for a couple of months, and the old items that I had that I put up, I didn't sell, and I was starting to get depressed. Then I said, let me, I was going through my apartment. I was looking around things that I don't really need, and I said, I want to get rid of this junk. It was symbolic to me that in order to get something new, whether it's a business, getting um, finances coming in, you have to get something out. Okay, when you get something out, then something else could come in. That was, I think, my logic. And so I was looking around, and I said, oh, I'm gonna put this thing up for sale. I have it. I didn't use it for years. When I was a student, it was a tape recorder, and I put it up for sale. Yes, was it yesterday? No, the day before yesterday. And immediately after I posted the item, I already had three watches. And I was wondering, how can I get someone watching? I mean, three people already. When I just pressed the go button, But that's what happened. And in the morning, which was yesterday, I had a person that was interested in buying, and in short, the transaction occurred. I sold my first item on eBay, and boy, it emotionally really, it really, you know, was of comfort to me. And why it did was that if I could sell one thing, I could sell something else. You know that this is a start of something new. So I'm sharing this with you that you know sometimes life throws a throws a curve at you, and it just you move out the way, but you just keep on going and keep on going. I'm hoping that I will continue to sell different items and there to support myself on it. So I'm really excited about that. And another thing that I wanted to share with you to try to, motivate you, the community out there that we all have talent somewhere, within us. And for me in my spirit journey, that to be able to be creative, to be able to express what's inside, it's important to me. And as a little girl, I used to watch my mother sew. She's an excellent sewer. She sewed for herself, outfits, and the clothes didn't look hand. I mean, they looked like something that she bought, and she also used to do needlework, and she inspired me to do. Crocheting as a little girl. I just made, got a crochet hook and making the long chain with it. But 2 years ago, I took up the hobby again, and then I stopped a little bit. But last year, I wanted to make myself something like the church I was visiting. I would crochet them hats and scarves. I said, I need to make myself one, you know. And so I bought some yarn last year, and it was wool. And guess what? I just finished my scarf about a week or 2 weeks ago. I wanted to show it to you. Yeah, this is it. It's a wool scarf. Okay, it's like cream on one side, like a grayish blue on another, and then I did the little bell, you know. And this is something I wore it once outside, and it really keeps me warm in my apartment. So yeah, so that's what I have on. And so why I'm showing to you guys is that we all have gifts, whether small or great. We all have something, and we're to cultivate it. You know, and this, in my opinion, is part of our spirit journey. You know, our spirit. It's what drives us. It's something that also needs to be cultivated and nurtured. And so my nurturing myself is through creativity, and making little things for yourself. You know, we're so used to. I want to show my little pom poms again. Okay, there you go. There you go. Yeah, in life, I was so brainwashed to think that you only have to, you only wear clothes from that you buy in the store. Here we're spending all our money on other people's stuff and not our own, you know. And I think this is a negative program that was put in us that is always someone else. It's someone else that has the answers, and the answers could really be within us, you know. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. That whatever what your journey is, nurture yourself, eat wholesome foods. Try to stay away from junk food. Drink plenty of water. If you have a blender, get a blender and start blending your veggies. So you get your veggies in the morning. So you're nutrient rich. How are we going to sustain a community if we're sick? You know, and it really doesn't cost much to get the vegetables, the green leafy vegetables in particular. It's rich with a lot of minerals and even iron. Iron. If you're a lady, you're young woman, you need your iron. So I say these things to encourage and to motivate and try to look forward, you know. So again, you two, I thank you for this time for me to talk to you. And again, I hope I inspired some of you to not be depressed. And no one has all the answers, but maybe the answer is actually within you. Cultivate your gifts, eat right, be good to your neighbor and your family, and avoid places that you know that's not good for you. So take care and enjoy, and give me a thumbs up. Take care. Bye bye.